Hey everybody, in this video we're gonna rank 8 Black Panthers from Wakanda's past to determine which of them is the strongest based on their abilities, technology, and historical significance. Many people have eaten the heart-shaped herb in temptation of what could be on the other side, but nobody surviving until one warrior, desperate to save his people, took the herb as a last resort. Mosi was the first of the Panther tribe to be blessed by the Panther goddess Bast and gained enhanced strength, speed, reflexes, and endurance. All his senses enhanced to the point where he could see in total darkness, track any scent, and hear an enemy's heartbeat. He became the first Black Panther. Enemies from space following the vibranium meteorite were relentless in their pursuit. Mosi defended his people with the power of the heart-shaped herb and the vibranium claws attached to his knuckles. Other beings across the universe following the vibranium meteorite had also arrived to Earth prepared to fight for this precious metal. Among them was Odin from Asgard. During their first encounter, Odin and Mosi took to each other as opponents until Odin threw his hammer straight towards the vibranium mountain, but was intercepted. Mosi became the first person after Odin to lift and wield Mjolnir. Completely taken aback by this, Odin said he had not been impressed by a mortal before or ever since. Thousands of years passed and the divided tribes were in a constant civil war with each other, only ending when a warrior shaman, Bashenga, born into the Panther tribe, received a vision from the Panther god Bast to eat the heart-shaped herb. He became the second Black Panther since Mosi. Under his rule, the tribes came together and established what we know today as Wakanda. He was the first Panther to forge weapons out of vibranium, the first two being Skybreaker, only to be used by royalty, and the Spear of Bashenga to be passed down to future Black Panthers. He also created the capital city of Bashenga, where the royal palace is located today. He is considered the father of Wakanda, known more for his contributions to the nation instead of his prowess in battle. Though he was able to wield vibranium weapons, I don't think he would stand a chance against Mosi, who was also able to wield vibranium as well as Mjolnir, which is made of Uru. Neither of these Panthers had access to the ancestral plane and did not wear any vibranium armor. As the years passed, the throne became more of a cultural icon than defender of Wakanda, with kings promoting more art and culture than martial arts and discipline. Mamadou Fall, a warrior from the Jabari tribe, ascended to the throne after killing the current king and becoming the first ever Black Panther from Jabari land. He was a decent warrior, but used the throne more for fame and fortune than assuming the role of a leader. Bast blessed him as her avatar because his values aligned more with the Panther god's beliefs, even allowing him to go to the ancestral plane after his death. His son, the spoiled prince, believed that women were weak and unable to rule. Before taking the heart-shaped herb, his half-sister challenged him to a duel, where she killed him and became the first female Black Panther and queen of Wakanda. Nehonda, also known as the Renegade Panther, was trained in magic from a very young age. She was the first Black Panther since Mosi to leave her homeland and answer a world threat. One of her teammates was young Thor, and during a close battle where Thor was seriously injured, his hammer Mjolnir flew towards her as she wielded it against their enemies. Nihanda had access to the ancestral plane and could communicate with the previous Black Panthers, including her father, but seldom did this as she believed that change was necessary in Wakanda and to the mantle of the Black Panther. Returning home, one of her servants, Adwoma, warned of a plot to poison her by the Jabari. After the suspicions were confirmed, the Jabari members were banished from Wakanda to live in the mountains. For her loyalty to the throne, Adwoma became the first Dora Milaje, and thus was born the hatred between the Dora and the Jabari.
Choking on their fuzzy adornments.
You bald-headed demon.
Show some respect, you two.
Queen Nehonda declared that there must be at least one Dora Milaje member from each tribe to prove their collective loyalty to the Black Panther. She ruled Wakanda throughout the 11th century and declared ritual combat can be the only way a new Black Panther could be named. Ironically, nobody could defeat her in ritual combat. Even when she was physically weaker than her opponents, her ability to perform magic gave her an advantage, and she died without giving any heir to the throne. The country of Wakanda was lost to time until World War II, when Captain America followed Nazis deep into Central Africa and found them all lined up and decapitated with their heads on spears. Out of the darkness emerged Azuri the Wise, the current Black Panther, and the first member of T'Challa's bloodline to inherit the throne. Wielding a pair of scythe-like weapons, he fought Captain America and his Howling Commandos. As the fight began to come to a close, Azuri told Steve Rogers he doesn't care to choose sides in the war, and anyone who tries to take vibranium, regardless of where they come from, will be dealt with harshly. This was a law instilled and continued through future generations. It is the policy of Wakanda
To never trade vibranium under any circumstance.
Finally, we have the three siblings, T'Challa, Shuri, and Killmonger. Physically, Killmonger is the strongest. He was able to defeat T'Challa in ritual combat to become the Black Panther fair and square. He depended the least on technology, and his weapons were the Spear of Bashenga and Skybreaker, both traditional and the original weapons of the Black Panther. He also had several trained leopards by his side, ready to do his bidding in battle, even act as scouts in Wakanda's forests. There was even a time where the Venom symbiote bonded with him to create a very formidable enemy. He was also proficient in military weapons such as assault rifles and small arms due to his time in the United States Special Forces. Other members of the Wakandan Council were loyal to Killmonger due to his nationalism and respect for his home country and ancestral land. Killmonger's prowess in battle enabled him to take on the Dora Milaje, Shuri pre-heart-shaped herb, and T'Challa before finally falling at the hands of his cousin. His loss stemmed from his overconfidence and lack of experience with vibranium. T'Challa and Killmonger both studied engineering and were innovators in their own right. Having worked with vibranium his whole life, T'Challa had the most technological advances of any Black Panther before him. His suit, held together by vibranium microwave mesh, was lightweight and even had the unique ability to absorb and redistribute kinetic energy from attacks launched against him, an attribute Shuri's suit doesn't even have. His claws are made of anti-metal, mined from Antarctic vibranium, capable of breaking down any metal at the molecular level. His energy-damping boots allowed his steps to be completely silent, while also allowing him to jump from 50 feet quietly, scale walls, and even skim across water. His vibranium energy daggers were powerful enough to strike through structures and foes. They could also be used as projectiles. These weapons have been seen to occasionally be used by select members of the Dora Milaje. T'Challa has the ability to teleport, given to him by the Panther goddess Bast while he was communing with the previous Panthers in the ancestral plane. The distance of this ability is unknown, but he's only seen to use it in close combat. His final and unique piece of technology is Wakanda Hulkbuster armor, only to be used under extreme duress. T'Challa prefers not to put it on because it's very far from traditional Black Panther armor and weaponry. Shuri is the second female Black Panther, a title she is very proud of. During a battle with Namor, Shuri's soul was trapped in limbo. Unable to die, her soul found its way to the ancestral plane where she trained with a spirit that had taken the form of her mother, Queen Ramonda. Shuri learned magic and sorcery from this spirit, also receiving knowledge from the first female Black Panther, Nehonda, who was proud another Pantheress would be leading Wakanda. T'Challa found Shuri in the ancestral plane and led her soul back to her physical body. When she returned, Shuri realized how little time had gone by in the real world while she was training with the Griot spirit and Nihanda in the ancestral plane. Shuri's new abilities included anamorphism, meaning she can transform her body into a flock of black birds or a single enormous one, giving her the ability to fly. She can also enter and exit the ancestral plane at will, no longer needing the heart-shaped herb ritual to guide her. In addition, she can transport multiple individuals into and out of the ancestral plane as she chooses. Both T'Challa and Shuri gained the ability to raise an army of dead Wakandan warriors to aid them in battle. While T'Challa has anti-metal tipped claws in his suit, Shuri prefers adamantium tipped vibranium claws. Other physical weapons Shuri uses are shock nets to stun one or a group of people, holopods to create multiple holograms of herself for a short period of time, desert sands which act as an EMP, and desert suns, small golden orbs that cause rapid dehydration to whoever they come in contact with. Each new Black Panther has the ability to call upon the knowledge of the previous Black Panthers while in the ancestral plane, while also benefiting from the advancements in technology that the previous generations have created for them. These two inherent advantages always gives future generations of Panthers an edge over the previous. T'Challa and Shuri have invented many new ways vibranium can be used to prove more effective in the modern world. Both are able to use magic, though Shuri, having trained longer in the ancestral plane under the Griot spirit and the previous Pantheress, has the upper hand. T'Challa and his kinetic vibranium suit along with anti-metal claws give him the ultimate advantage when facing off against any one of the previous Panthers. This and his use of teleportation would make him the strongest Black Panther to have ever lived. I believe with more years of training her magical abilities, Shuri will one day surpass her older brother, ascending to the throne as Queen Shuri of Wakanda. Let me know what you guys think of this video in the comments section. Thank you all for your time, and I wish you all the best rest of your day.